Vinney and Beau show. Some of you might know me, Vinney Chopra, and my partner, BeauEckstein. And we come to you live at 9:30 Pacific, which is 12:30 Eastern, every Friday. Thanks for joining.
And I think, Vinney, honestly, we at some point we're going to start a affordable housing multifamily division underneath Monale Investments. I'll run the division.
Wow.
We'll have a nonprofit component, and we'll help.
Wow.
We could probably help this in a big way, really.
I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
It's been an exciting week. I hope it's been for you also. Beau, you have some questions, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of questions.
How are you, brother?
Good to see you, Vinney. Good to see you, Beau.
Oh, thank you. We are so privileged to have you.
Hey, Vinney, real quick.
Yeah, bud.
All right, I'll bet you sushi that you don't know that. What does SAS stand for?
Hi there, everybody joining us, watching us. We are live in 7 channels actually today, in the YouTube, in LinkedIn, in Facebook groups and Facebook. Thanks again for liking the show. Please give comments, share, and we are here for a very big show today. All right. Good morning, America. This is Chopra and BeauEckstein. We come live to you at 8 a.m. 9:30. As a matter of fact, Beau, happy birthday, brother.
All right, thank you. Yeah, the big 4-5 yesterday. So yeah, it's amazing. You know, like everybody always talks about, like, oh, your life actually goes really quick once you're like from like 33 on. It feels like every year just comes faster and faster. And but I enjoy life more today than I ever did, right? And that's the point.
I love that.
Every year is a growth year. If every year is a growth year, you're doing well.
Exactly. And we need to tell our mind we are one day younger, one year younger. You know, that's what I've been saying to myself for the last 30 years. And, this way you just keep your excitement up and everything and make memories. I was just going to say, I'm wearing these glasses and the hat and all. We're in vacation, really going full beach and everything. Right in Puerto Vallarta. And, again, we're going to really talk a good topic today. Everybody listening to us, the topic today is automating your business so it works without you. Wow. Automating our business so that we don't have to be in the grind of things. And that's what we're going to talk about today for next 25 minutes or so. It's a pretty good one, right, Beau? You mentioned your growth has come tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really starts with the simple things in life. Like for years and years and years, I was just doing repetitive things, right? Like I would write the same email to 10 different borrowers, like if they're getting an SBA loan or whatever. Everything I do now is what I call a multiplier. So like I might do a little bit of work right now that takes a little bit more time, but then it's in the future, it's saving you minutes and hours and days after a certain amount of time. So everything is a multiplier. So that's the key. I think I have like one form now with all what I call, I named it quick links, right? It's quick links. So everything I do now, somebody like the other day, somebody booked a call with me and they're buying a motel with some cabins around it. SBA deal, boom, quick links, grab it, send it to them. They have everything they need to get started. Instead of recreating the wheel, that just saves a lot of time, because even though it might only take you like 3 or 4 minutes to type that email, I did it in 20 seconds. Okay. Multiply that by X amount of people I talk to in a day. And then we're going to get into the tools we're using. Like if you're not using like a calendar system, like a booking, so people can book calls like Calendly, right? I have different calls to action. People book a call. I can set up multiple different Calendly links with different times of the meetings. They automatically get a Zoom. They automatically get some questions asked if it's like to be on my guest on my show. Everything becomes a system and an automation. And the more you do this, like, so every week now I'm doing this and like moving the needle forward with all this thing. Eventually you'll become so efficient it's going to make your life so much easier. You'll be able to be in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and your business is running better without you there, right? In Mexico, your business is working just as good as if you were sitting at your desk. That's the goal.
That's so true, Bo. You said Calendly link, having separate different appointments, and everybody could do it. Like I have a Calendly link for my students. If they come into that funnel, they get into that. Investors get a different Calendly link. My podcast interviewees, they get a different one. And then in the Calendly, you could set up so many questions so that they have to answer them to get to the date for reservation. And then you get their phone number and everything so that the texting is done. It puts it in your calendar. So Calendly is amazing, amazing. The previous one you talked about the links. I think it's the shortcuts, like the keyboard shortcuts. If you don't mind, just go to keyboard shortcut. I've got 39 of those shortcuts right now. See, if I say my email address, I just say MEA. That's it. MEA, and it writes out my email address. If I have to really say God, God bless you, I just say God, and it writes out the whole thing. God bless you with the finest in life, be positive, all that. I've never have to type that again. You can just God, anything and everything. Bio. When I say BIO anywhere, it writes out 5 paragraphs. So it's amazing, brother. Yeah. Shortcuts are amazing.
Everything's got to be like systematized like that. And I never was a systems guy, but I'll tell you what, after you bang your head against the wall a few times, you realize that systems are the way to go. So after let's just say Vinney has a scheduled appointment on his calendar, and it's a new potential investor that wants to invest in a syndication, right? So then Vinney asks a series of questions in his calendar link. He has the 15 or 20-minute meeting, right? And then from that, he could have like 2 or 3 different messages in his quick links. So it could be like, okay, this investor's more interested in investing in assisted living. So he's going to have a templated email with some links to like some of the projects he's done and so forth, right? Like think about what you can do in your particular business. If you're a real estate investor and you're buying single family homes, what can you do to set up these automations to grow and scale your business? Like if you're reaching out to real estate agents for off-market or pocket listing deals, you should have these letters put together. If you're sending out emails or texts to the wholesalers, all this stuff, so everything becomes quicker and more efficient, and then you're just like not doing tedious things. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing tedious activities, you're definitely not doing the high dollar activities you should be doing.
So true, so very true, Bo. So we could even talk about, a lot of really great things. I know Asana, ASANA. It's a free system, free software. Actually, Derek Clifford, as you know, we know Derek so well, and he's doing amazingly. He came into my mastermind the other day, and last week and this week, thanks to him, really finding time to do that. And he was able to take through his standard operating procedures, SOPs. That's a huge, huge thing. I know you're big on that. You want to throw some light on SOP? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So everybody, like Vinney and I and many other people have virtual team members, right? So you may have team members in India, Argentina, Mexico, the Philippines. And so anything we're doing frequently, it becomes an SOP. So like, for a long time, I was just I didn't make the Vinney and Beau show an SOP. So I said, we got to make this into an SOP. So immediately after this show, we have a virtual assistant that goes in and downloads this. All right. And then they have their assignments of what they're doing. So the next thing they do is they look for some good nuggets, and they take the nuggets and then they write the text out. So all this becomes an automation. And then now I might have 3 or 4 short clips from each episode with nuggets on it that we can share on our social media platform. So that's just one example of an SOP. An SOP could be for when you get a new deal, when you get a new multifamily property under contract, your checklist for due diligence, your checklist for getting your loan, your checklist. This should all be systematized. The more you can do this, the more freedom you have. The more disciplined you become, the more freedom you have. And that sounds counterintuitive, but it's so true. The more discipline you have, the more freedom you have. And so if that's our mantra, like 2023 is right around the corner. What are we going to do? Like, these efficiencies don't need to be done. Like, you don't have to do them all at once. Every week you should be working. Like, when I get an idea, like, okay, this process needs to be improved, I get with my team member. I have a team member that helps me do the integration. You know, they come up with the SOPs for me because that's not really my strong suit. I don't want to sit there typing out the SOP. I want to need help. So you got to get the right team members in place. Oh, look at that ocean.
I know. Look at this here. I'm just loving it. I'm just totally loving it. It's great to be out here, you know, having fun.
I think Mexico is like probably like, I mean, I haven't been to as nearly, Vinny, you've traveled a lot more than I have, but I tell you what, to me, all I need, if I go on a vacation, Mexico it's like my perfect vacation place because I like the beach, I like the food, and I also believe that the cost, you know, versus going to Hawaii, Mexico is so much better priced. You get a lot more value. So it's
all
my favorite place.
all inclusive, you know, in Hawaii, you're paying $100 per person or $70 dinner each night, right? You know, but here you can get inclusive. So I love, and children also, they love coming to Mexico, and it's closer to us too, other than Hawaii, you know. I just wanted to, you know, share this beautiful scenery I was admiring, you know. But let's talk about, you know, certain other things we can talk about also with a little bit time. Again, the big thing is having virtual or internet is a huge part of our automations. You know, what you're doing, what I'm doing, it's great to have these people who are able to do the job really nicely. And it's a good living for them. If you pay them $5 an hour, $6, $7 an hour, it's a good living for them. And they are very big specialists in their fields. Like I love Ralph and Uriel, right? Both of them brothers in Philippines. They are doing amazing job. Now, you know, Aiden over there in Ottawa, actually, he told me, you know, for the TikTok. So he's doing a great job. But the key thing is you've got to figure out what are some of the items you hate to do or you're not good at, write them down, and then you find somebody who will be able to do it better than you and at much lower price, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the cost of living is way different, like in Mexico or in the Philippines. People there can live on a lot less income. You know, as we know, you know, the United States is super expensive. And the other reason is that most of the way I wanted to gear my business is with contract workers, right? I want independent contractors. I don't necessarily need a million, you know, local employees. And so, you know, I've worked with independent contractors pretty much for the last 15 years probably. And the combination of using Fiverr, Upwork, all those platforms. So you have to incorporate, you know, different tasks in, and it, you know, I'm doing some transactions for a gentleman right now, and it's amazing. Like, he does everything himself. And it's like, the guy's got a $60 million net worth. And I'm like, why are you doing all this stuff yourself? You are like, he is so old school. And I just want to like have a heart to heart with him. Like, man, you make enough money that you can have somebody doing your bookkeeping and all that. Like, he's just too in his business, right? Like, he doesn't need to be, and he's an older guy. And I'm like, man, he's like, congratulations that you're so successful, but like, like you could be doing a lot less. And anyways, like
he could be 3x, 4x, 5x. But you are so right. You know, it's the time. Time is what we are looking for. It's making the memories, we call it, right? 24 hours in a day. But if we can give those medial work things which take away our time, really, to be truthful, you know, going through these spam emails and going through these appointments and going through all these things, and you know, a lot of these virtual international assistants, I call them, they can take over and do those jobs much better. all we need to do is time spent in internalizing ourselves, game plan, everything, plus investors, brokers, and in your case, loan broker. I mean, when you are dealing with well, what we spend time, most important productive time is with the customers, clients, and partners. That's all I find. Rest of that is, just something that we can delegate.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Like, what do you do that is your
Yeah.
highest dollar activity? So for me, it's talking to clients, getting new clients, right? That's the big thing. And then so for Vinney, his biggest money making activities is finding the opportunities and
Yeah.
then his investors. Okay, that's the
That's
only
it.
two things he needs to be figured. That and operations, right? Because the operations need to
Yeah.
happen. If they don't, everything else doesn't work. But those three items are what he needs to. And when I say operations, he's the person that's delegating. He's not like running the operations,
Yeah.
right? That's what needs to happen. Like making sure those managers of those particular projects are doing their job. So
Mhm.
those are the two activities. Everything else is something that you shouldn't be doing. You're thinking high level of like, okay, like, what for marketing, what could we be doing, right? But for me, it comes down to getting my name out there in front of thousands and thousands of people, right? And so by
Yeah.
doing that, leveraging myself. So that what does that mean? It means getting on more stages, talking at investor
Mhm.
conferences about financing, doing more
Mhm.
podcasts, right? Because that's high. Those are high paying activities. They don't pay me
Sure.
necessarily. Those are the things that make the difference. And then the talking with the clients and figuring out the deal. Like that's where I make my money. That's what I should be doing all day because the marketing, driving the deal in or driving the prospect in, and then consulting with the prospect. Everything else is doesn't matter to me. Like it's going to get done by somebody else, and that's where you plug your team members in.
Yeah.
And instead of you having to have an employee that lives down the street, you can have a virtual team member that lives in Mexico, the Philippines, India, Pakistan, and
Sure.
everything is digital. Your SOPs can be online. We have tools like Google Drive. We have Google Docs. We have Zoom where we could do Zoom or Loom. You could do screen recordings
Yep.
and create virtual
Mhm.
SOPs. It's
Mhm.
now with automation, it's easier than ever to have virtual team members. So if you don't have a virtual team member, what are you doing? What could you do and what could be replaced in what you're doing? So if you're a real estate agent, sending out your emails to your database, doing your farm, picking out houses to market to, like all that stuff is not your high dollar activities. That should be a virtual team member. So really, I guess if I could say anything is if you want to make X amount of dollars per hour, everything that's not making that money should be outsourced.
So true. So true. Well, what you're talking about, internet is internet here or in Mexico or Philippines, everybody. So dating list research and also write articles. I love this copy CEO.ai. I would love everybody to or Jasper.ai. I mean, you just a few sentences, it writes the whole blog for you. What? You just put down the ideas and it writes through artificial intelligence your whole article. I'm not a good writer, but that's the key to it, right? Otter.ai, OTTER. Having Otter integrated with your Zoom, it everybody what your people are talking, it types it in real time. You can open up another screen. This way, in the podcast, you can be actually looking at what your guest is talking about, and you can highlight it. Derek mentioned it, in our one of the classes. He says, he does it all right away, and then he saves that Otter, the whole thing, and his DA puts the subject matter from there, highlighted things, and gets the blog going and everything. And Otter also puts timeline to every speaker. That's amazing. You can just copy paste it and put it right below your podcast. We also talked about another. Oh my God, copy. We did talk. Another one is Asana. We talked in the front. I mentioned about Trello. Trello is a little bit. Asana is so easy and it's free, and it moves the blocks. It does calendar. It does everything. I was very, very impressed with Asana. It's a free software. The other one, but of course, if you're selling courses, designing courses or whatever, if you are into that, Kajabi, I am revamping my whole thing, so many things and attachments, and we could do systems and like a 40 we are now, another one, 7 hours in 7. It's a new course, another training for giving all the great hacks and all. But look in the mirror and see where you are productive. And if you are not having an assistant, I allow that. You are the assistant. Certain times of the day you are $5 and of the day you're working for $1,000. It's the mixture of the two.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and also Slack. Slack's a good tool.
Slack is
but
good
I just
one.
heard,
Yes.
but actually Google came up with their own version of Slack.
Oh,
I heard, I forgot who was telling me about that, but what I like about that, it already integrates with Google Docs and everything. So I'm going to look into get it moving from Slack. Sorry, Slack. Slack's great, and I'm paying for their service right now. But you know what? Whenever Google or Gmail or they always usually do a good product, and it probably will be free. So I will probably
yes.
help. So that's the other thing too, is you
Slack,
always gotta.
Yeah, Google Slack or something.
I don't know what it's called, but that's the other thing too, is you got to stay relevant. You got to know what's going on with technology. How you can streamline processes is critical. So that's what I'm always doing. Like I have Hubler.io, and that helps.
Oh yeah,
post
that's the one
social
you
media
shared
things.
with me. Yep. I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that.
So I guess
Hubler.io.
yeah. So I think the moral of the story of the episode is that what can you do in your business to improve efficiencies, and don't try to go crazy and do it all at once, but every week you should improve one of your processes, one of your business chapters, and just improve efficiencies. Keep on doing that that's what we call multipliers. Those efforts that take a little bit more time right now will pay dividends forever. And that's what I've been working on the last probably 3 or 4 months. And it's been a game changer by doing these processes.
Love that, Beau. Everybody should set up time in our morning or on Fridays. I say 1 hour, 1.5 hours, where you have appointment with you. Nobody needs to know. See, when people reach for making an appointment or a phone call when they come, I don't pick up phone call, because if somebody is very, very important, I'll pick up. I let them message to call me at their convenience. I will return the call at my convenience. It's okay. Even is bad, I need to ask them what's and the content. Don't be questions. Your time is more. You want really good is if people ask, can I meet you at 8 a.m. on Friday morning? No, I have a meeting. They don't say meeting with me in planning my week, what happened this week and what's the next week. So it's so important to be productive. We utilize time in the best, and with the cutting edge tools, saying how these tools are, which can make our life much, much easier.
I love it. Yeah, no, that's so true. It's so true. Well, we'll let you get back to your enjoying your vacation in Mexico, and the rest of us will go back and.
Yeah, did it right here. I just say vacation. Our 6th one this year, and hopefully God will have 6 next year. But you got to really have fun. Stay away from your business. Let the right partners and things and systems work for you so that you can really enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And let's have a great one next week. I'll be back in California and we'll have fun. Thank you, Beau. Thank you, brother. Happy birthday again. Happy birthday.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You are 1 year younger. Remember, 1 year younger.
Yes, yes, yes.
So happy to be on your show finally.
I'm a long-time fan and I watch all your guys' content.
Awesome. We're very, very, very invested in our community.
It's wonderful to be here.
This is Vinney and also my good buddy, BeauEckstein. And we are so happy.
It's amazing what's going to happen. So, we're amped up to do the show, and we got a lot of hype about the guest today, so I'm excited.
Oh, I know.
So excited.
To come live to you all. You live 9:30 every Friday. How to take your business to the next level.